Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Rhea Ripley recently faced off against Asuka this week on WWE Raw, in what turned out to be a roller coaster of a match. However, a particular part of the segment apparently bothers wrestling veteran Vince Russo too much to be ignored. While the Eradicator was able to emerge victorious, the show did not end on a good note for her. Post-match, Asuka attacked Rhea and sprayed her with her poison mist, leaving her unable to defend herself. When Io Sky attempted to stop Asuka, she was also beaten down. Speaking on Legion of Raw, Vince Russo pointed out how the poison mist was hardly a good name for Asuka's signature attack. The WWE veteran stated, "I love the way in 2025 we are still referring to it as the poison mist. Can we not call it the blinding mist, bro? Why is it poison getting spit in your eye? Like, can we just not call it the blinding mist? Like, seriously, poison." You can check out the full video here. Becky Lynch was seen backstage this week talking to Seth Rollins, venting out her frustrations with how things have been progressing. While Russo is generally critical of several segments, he was quite pleased with Becky's performance. Speaking on the same episode of Legion of Raw, Russo stated, "I was happy about this because, at least Becky was not trying to be a comedian. She was being serious and I am like, okay good thank God, rather than, trying to be a comedian. So I thought she did good in that performance." If you use any quotes from here, please credit Sportskeeda and Imb the exclusive YouTube video. About the author, Shub Paget is a pro wrestling journalist at Sportskeeda, reporting on WWE news. He has a master's degree in English and has been working in his current role for over 2 years. A fan of pro wrestling since childhood, Shub Paget decided to start creating content on the sport out of passion. Before covering a piece of news or rumor, he conducts thorough research, ensuring information in his work is reliable and completely accurate. Although Shub Paget admires numerous pro wrestlers, his current favorite is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre. He is fond of the Scottish Warrior's character work and innovative quips. If there is one storyline he can work on in WWE, Shub Paget would book Roman Reigns' future with the Bloodline following WrestleMania SL, where he lost to Cody Rhodes. He would have Reigns' stablemates excommunicate him, laying the foundation for a gimmick change for the former. After Reigns' exit from the faction, Shub Paget would portray him as an anti-hero trying hard to claw his way back up to the top. Apart from reporting on pro wrestling, Shub Paget enjoys competitive gaming and reading. WWE veteran scoffs at detail in Rhea Ripley's match on Raw. Like, seriously, exclusive WWE has always thrived on intensity, passion, and unpredictable drama. But every now and then moments arise that spark strong reactions from veterans of the business who have seen it all and know when something doesn't quite sit right. Such was the case this week on Raw when Rhea Ripley stepped into the ring for a high-profile contest that drew a lot of eyes yet left one respected voice from the wrestling world shaking his head and asking tough questions about what unfolded. In an exclusive conversation, the veteran did not hold back in his assessment of one particular detail that he felt undercut the believability of the match and highlighted what he believes to be an ongoing issue in WWE's current creative direction. His reaction could be summed up with 2 words dripping in sarcasm and disbelief. Like, seriously, a phrase that has already caught traction with fans online who agreed with his observations and began circulating memes and posts across social media. Rhea Ripley remains one of WWE's most dominant and talked about superstars. Her reign of dominance has elevated her into the elite circle of talent that the company heavily relies on to carry its biggest storylines. On Raw, she faced a strong opponent in a match that promised fireworks and high stakes, but according to the veteran, the execution did not live up to the hype. He questioned why the match seemed to focus more on unnecessary theatrics than on Ripley's aura of legitimacy that fans have come to respect. The Hall of Famer argued that the company should be doubling down on presenting her as unstoppable instead of leaving gaps that open her up to criticism. You've got someone like Rhea who looks like a destroyer. She's got the presence, the charisma, and the in-ring ability that very few can match, but then you book her in a way that just doesn't make sense. Like, seriously, who's coming up with this? You're supposed to showcase her as the most dangerous woman in the business, not have her look vulnerable in spots that feel forced, he said during the interview. His candid remarks reflect a growing sentiment among fans who feel that WWE's creative team sometimes overlooks the finer details that can make or break the perception of a star. For Rhea Ripley, her rise has been meteoric, but every misstep on screen draws extra attention simply because the expectations for her are sky high. The veteran noted that the crowd in attendance clearly wanted to see Ripley dominate in convincing fashion, yet at times the pacing of the match seemed to stall and focus on theatrics that didn't serve the bigger story. Fans on social media also weighed in, many of them echoing the veteran's critique and calling on Triple H and WWE's creative team to ensure that Ripley's aura is never compromised. Some argue that WWE should protect her presentation in the same way legends like The Undertaker or Brock Lesnar were protected during their prime runs. The veteran doubled down, saying that stars like Ripley do not come along often and WWE risks diluting her impact if they keep forcing questionable storytelling decisions into her matches. He pointed to small but noticeable details such as selling moves for too long or giving opponents extended offense that simply didn't match up with Ripley's established dominance. "You don't need to reinvent the wheel with Rhea. She's the real deal. Less is more. She should be smashing through people in 5 minutes sometimes. Give her that aura back instead of these overproduced matches that make people scratch their heads," he said. The veteran's comments have ignited a larger debate about how WWE is handling its top stars in the women's division. While Ripley has been consistently featured and heavily promoted, there's always the danger of creative slipping into autopilot and making her look less special. Some fans even compared her situation to that of other former dominant champions who eventually suffered from overexposure or inconsistent booking. Industry insiders suggest that Ripley's long-term positioning is safe, but criticism like this serves as a warning sign that WWE must stay vigilant in how they craft her stories. The reaction backstage to the match was reportedly positive, with management feeling satisfied about the outcome, but the veteran insisted that the business is not about pleasing insiders but about connecting with fans in a way that feels authentic and larger than life. He noted that wrestlers of his era had to fight for their presentation and protect their aura at all costs, something he believes modern talent should also embrace. Whether Ripley herself shares those concerns remains unknown, but given her track record of fiercely protecting her character, it wouldn't be surprising if she too raised questions about the way the match was structured. Her connection with fans is undeniable, and any sign of vulnerability that feels unearned risks diminishing the special aura she has carefully built since breaking out on the main roster. In the aftermath of the veteran's comments, "like seriously" has become a trending phrase among fans who both criticized and defended WWE's booking choices. Some fans mocked the detail in question, while others argued that every great champion needs to show vulnerability at times to make stories more compelling. Still, the larger consensus remains that Ripley should be treated like the unique star she is without being bogged down by questionable creative choices. As Raw moves forward and WWE continues building toward major events, it will be interesting to see how the company responds to this type of critique. Will they double down on Ripley's dominance and strip away the fluff, or will they continue down a path that risks alienating her core fan base? For now, the veteran's blunt honesty has struck a chord and reminded the wrestling world that the little details often make the biggest difference in how stars are perceived. One thing is certain: Rhea Ripley remains at the center of WWE's plans, and as long as veterans are speaking out about her booking, fans will continue to watch closely and demand that she gets the presentation worthy of her talents. The phrase "like seriously" may have been delivered with sarcasm, but it underscores a very real frustration about modern wrestling storytelling, and WWE now has the challenge of proving that its handling of Ripley can live up to her potential.